Hey everybody, this is Final Flame Productions back with another Last of Us video. Today I will focus on the character of Abby. The character of Abby has been a very controversial character going into this game because of the leaks. She was a very prominent character in the leaks. Spoilers ahead in case you haven't played The Last of Us Part 2. But Abby is a character who kills Joel pretty near the start of the game. It's about 2 hours in or so. From then on, you play Abby before that, and you play Abby for quite a bit after that as well. So the question is, and it's been a debate, I think the majority of people are citing on what I'm citing, that Abby is a character that simply does not work. Simply does not work as a character who you would play as for a large period of time. It's a truly bizarre decision to play as Abby for such a period of time. She's really the co-lead of the game. You play as Ellie quite a lot, you play as Abby also in a similarly long period of time. And for a character like that, for any new character, it would be tough. And even if this was a relatively less controversial character, a character who didn't kill off a fan favorite, making people play as a new character is always going to be a risk, but then again, probably not that much of a risk if the character was like Jesse or Dina. Those are characters that are not exactly ever going to be fan faves, but they're not controversial and they're not going to be characters that the fans actively hate. I mean, you need to look through playthroughs, streams, rants, reviews. The general public, the general gaming community do not like Abby. I mean, there's whole sidetracks of people that make fun of her appearance and go into all that stuff. I have no particular interest in that. The way she looks, the way she doesn't look is of no interest to me. The problem for me is the character. Once she kills Joel, there is zero interest in ever having any interest in what that character does from then on. Now, if the character was supposed to be a villain and was played directly as a villain, and I don't mean played as in playable character, I mean she was showcased in the story as a villain, that may work, but playing as a character was never going to work, and especially trying to make you relate to her character and try to make you sympathize, and then making you truly the most bizarre decision of all. I mean, there's loads of bizarre decisions. Killing Joel was just an idiotic decision in my opinion. I'll probably talk more about Joel in a different video. But making you play as Abby and beat up and attempt to kill Ellie was just a truly stupid decision. I don't know how they decided or who thought it would be a good idea. The fact that you play most of the game as Ellie, and you play and you interact with Ellie in the first game. Ellie is a beloved character that everybody likes, and to make you then play as Abby and try to hurt her and try to hunt her down and attack her, it literally makes no sense at all. If these are cutscenes work, I mean, if Abby's beating the crap out of Ellie in a cutscene, or if the cutscenes from the perspective of Abby going after Ellie, that may work, but actually forcing Last of Us fans to play as Abby and to attack the character of Ellie is just utter insane. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't make you actually play as Abby when she killed Joel. That seems, I'm sure if I said that to the writers of The Last of Us 2, they'd probably be regretting that they didn't do that. That's literally where we are with The Last of Us 2. It's a misjudged mess. It's a completely tone-deaf experience that is written by people, not only people that don't understand, they do understand that this is going to be a negative and divisive game. They've said that they knew that people would dislike it, yet they still went ahead with it. Nobody within Naughty Dog that has any power decided this isn't acceptable, this isn't something we should release, because they seem to not care. They seem to the egos of the people that work there and that were writing the story. It's not simply stupidity or lack of good writing, it's also an ego, and I think that's something that people miss. These people actively want to do what they want to do, and I mean, the idea people keep going back to that they're pushing agendas and they're putting in all these political things. All that stuff is, you can debate that up and down all you want, but actively putting your fans on the defensive and alienating your fans to the point where they don't want to play. I've seen a streamer actually stop the game and smash or cut up his discs his physical diss with his scissors, because he simply was just disgusted what they did to Joel. And then I'm sure had that streamer found out that he would have to play as Joel's killer for most of the game, they certainly wouldn't have wanted to play either. So you simply look at the character of Abby. I mean, they try to make you sympathize with her. They try to give the backstory. They give the reasons for why she does what she does. But none of that matters, because the character of Joel is the character of Joel. Fans love him. He was always going to be. He is one of the PlayStation's greatest original characters. To dispose of him and then to make you play as the killer, it just seems like an idea. It seems like an idea that they thought this is going to be controversial. This is going to stir things up. But in a game at the length and the really long length that The Last of Us is, that was never going to work. To play as that character in an extensive way and to make you somehow try to side with that character at the very end, or wherever they thought that you would be won over by the character. Some maybe won over, but the vast majority seem to just utterly hate those parts. And to make things worse, the ending of the game, Ellie doesn't actually get to have revenge on Abby, because there's a very fine reason why that, because they're trying to make Abby a sympathetic, good character. Somehow they thought that was going to work. Everybody that was playing the game at that point wanted to get revenge and kill Abby, but the game doesn't give that either, because people writing the game didn't want it. And that's the problem with The Last of Us 2, is that the writing is not based on logic or realism, or to entertain, or to be any way enjoyable. It's just done by whatever the writers wanted. And they talk about realism. They talk about, you kill off a character like Joel, that's what happens in an unforgiving real world. But the writing to get to that point and the writing afterwards is just abysmal. And I simply look at the character of Abby and think, what did they think this character was going to do? How did they think that this would be an enjoyable way to spend hours and hours, and there is a lot of hours, playing as this unlikable character? Again, have no issue with physical appearances and all that type of stuff that people on YouTube dive into and cast their I would say ignorant opinions on it. It's a computer generated character, but those sorts of opinions to me are pretty ignorant. I simply have an issue with the character, things she doesn't do. The character may have worked. The character's motives could have worked. I mean, you can turn off the video now, but I had this idea for how I thought the game should have went. Obviously, I wouldn't have wanted to do this initially, but if I was in the writer's room and I was trying to fix this story of The Last of Us 2, but not to completely rip up everything, my idea would have been that Abby would have been searching after to try and take down Joel for most of the game, and that she ends up killing either Dina or Joel's brother, who's escaping me at the moment. Tommy, isn't it? If I got that wrong, you can slap me in the face in the comment section. But my idea would have been Abby to try and kill Joel to start, but she ends up killing Tommy or Dina. That then would make Joel and Ellie want to get revenge, and the character of Abby then could be playable, because even though the character is a villain, even though the character is going against Joel and Ellie, if you don't alienate the audience, I mean, killing Dina or Tommy maybe would still alienate most people. Kill Joel was going to be a complete alienation of the character, so that was never going to work. So they could have had Abby as a playable character. They could have kept Joel alive. At the very end of the game, in my opinion, I would have had Abby attempt to kill Joel. Ellie comes in and there's a standoff, and Abby roaring and shouting at Joel, and Ellie saying that she wants her revenge, that Joel needs to die. And this is a part that could go a billion different ways. In my opinion, Ellie would give her forgiveness, even if it was she killed Dina. Ellie would forgive Abby and tell her that if you let Joel go, I'll let you go. And that's Ellie trying to give Abby the choice to not kill Joel, to not force Ellie to kill Abby, but then Abby pulls the trigger, the gun doesn't go off, and Ellie then has to kill Abby because she did give her the chance not to kill Joel, and she attempted to do it. So Ellie shoots Abby. Joel and Ellie are alive at the end of the game. Abby isn't, but you've created a character of Abby who is controversial still, and you can still make her playable, but you give her the chance to be a character that's sympathetic. Once you kill Joel, once you kill Jesse and loads of different people, I mean, the idea that Abby is still sympathetic somehow in the current way the game is just absurd. And the fact that they make you play her makes everything much, much worse. Again, what do you think of my idea? Abby doesn't kill Joel. Abby stays as a character who obviously she has to kill somebody to get the story going, to get the revenge story going. So I think that the characters of Tommy or Dina would have been the better choice, because the game should be about Joel and Ellie, but apparently the people making this game forgot about that, and that's the reason the game has been so divisive. What do you think? Thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think, and please subscribe. Thank you.